is here now. The power of now is here now. The power of you, me, is here to create magic on earth.
Welcome back to the Mastering You podcast with Natalie Newhart. Thank you so much for being here. Now let's get to work. Hey guys, welcome back. So I want to just jump right into it, and this this episode is going to be all about how to feel your best and what's standing in the way of you feeling your best. So I'm just going to ask you some questions and just do your best to really be honest with yourself, to connect to your heart and not your head, and really just see what your answers are. So my first question is, how do you feel? Do you feel good? Do you feel good in your body? Do you feel good in your mind? Do you feel full of life? Do you feel alive? Or do you feel a bit dead? Do you have great energy? And that doesn't necessarily mean like energy that you're going to go like run a marathon or do 1,000 burpees or something. It's just, do you have great energy to just to wake up? Are you inspired about life? Do you have passion like coursing through your veins? Are you excited to wake up in the morning? Do you feel strong in your body? Do you feel flexible? Do you feel nimble and agile? Does your body feel good? Do you feel strong? Do you feel clean and clear and calm and peaceful in your mind? Does your mind feel pure, empty, present, peaceful, positive? Do you feel balanced in your life? Or do you feel a bit pulled in one direction? Maybe you're burnt out and energized the next day and burnt out the next. Maybe you feel like you're spreading yourself too thin. Do you wake up without having any part of your body which is disturbing you to live a normal day? Like stomach aches, headaches, sadness, stress, anxiety. What is there? What is in your way from feeling good? This is what we all want. We all want to feel good. We all want to feel full of life. We all want to have a body that is capable of doing anything, of doing any sort of adventures and having different experiences. We all want to have a mind that's peaceful and present and calm instead of worrying about the next thing I need to do on my list or what happened earlier, or that monkey mind or the self-doubt. We all want to have a heart that feels connected to everyone and everything, as opposed to trying to compete against each other, judge yourself. We just want to feel connected. We want to feel good. We want to feel aligned. We want to feel aligned with who we want to be, who we choose to be, the best version of ourselves. And nothing in this world matters more than this feeling, than feeling good. There's no amount of money, no things, no success, no fame. You can have all these things. You can have all the toys, nice houses. You can have the friends and the family that supports and loves you. But if you don't feel good within yourself, if you don't feel proud of yourself, if you don't feel peaceful, happy, if you don't feel good in your body, then none of that stuff matters. And it's funny because we're all chasing that stuff. It's crazy. We fill our day with all these things to do and places to be and money to make and all these things at the sacrifice of, sometimes at the sacrifice of our health, of how we feel. Not saying that you can't have those things, but oftentimes people are putting that in front of feeling alive and feeling, taking care of themselves, taking the best care of themselves. Not just getting a massage every once in a while, but really, really taking the best care of yourself, allowing lots of time to be with yourself and take care of your body and move and eat well. So we really want to get into, well, what are those things? If what are those things that actually make me feel my best? What pieces do I need to have in place do I need to have dialed into my life in order to wake up and not have a single thing disturbing me? In order for me to wake up and feel passionate about life, to feel excited about my day. What are those things that we need to live our best life? And through my experience, I believe it comes down to 5 main things, with maybe a little bonus thing at the end. And I'm going to go through these through the order of most importance from my experience. So these 5 things that I believe we need to have in place, meaning we need to connect to on a daily basis in order to feel our best, are these 5 things. Number 1, it's purpose or vision, right? We need to have a reason to wake up in the morning. We need to have something that motivates us. And I'm going to go into depth a lot more with each one. But so number 1 is purpose and or vision. You can use either term. Number 2 is emotional management. So that's just managing your state, being able to manage your emotions and not be so reactive or pulled in one direction and the other. So that's going to be important. Number 3 is movement. Number 4 is rest. And number 5 is nutrition. So that's going to be in order of most importance to least importance. And I'm going to go into each one now. So the first one is purpose and vision. We need something. We need that thing that wakes us up and lights us up, right? We need that thing that gets us excited to get out of the bed in the morning. We need that fire that is in our heart, the passion and excitement for life, a reason to live, a reason to wake up and go through your day and do the things you do, a reason to eat well, a reason to move, a reason to, to do your work, your projects. Without this purpose, without this vision, life gets really boring and monotonous and depressing. And so we need to have that thing that really makes us strive for something bigger than us. We've got to have that thing that like pulls on our heart. Okay. And it's that thing or that version of yourself that you can't stop dreaming about typically. And this is basically your soul calling you. So if you have like this thing that you've always wanted to do or be or have, achieve, that's your soul telling you what's important to your heart. It's not a coincidence that you want that so bad. And maybe you don't have an image, and maybe that just means that you need to spend some time with yourself to really like feel into what is it that I want. For me, my soul spoke really loudly. It was after doing all the competition in CrossFit and bodybuilding, and I just wanted to be fit, but I wanted freedom. I wanted to be fit and free. I wanted to be free from all the diets and all the rules and structures and just all that like pressure, but I still wanted to feel really good. I still wanted to have a body that was better than average. I still wanted to be able to, perform really well, to like go run up a mountain or, just be strong and like be able to do different experiences and not be limited by my body. But I didn't want to have to deal with all those structures and rules that I was so used to. And so I remember so clearly actually like when that started to come into my mind and when I actually made the decision of like, this is what I'm doing now. And ever since then, my it's like my heart just yearns for it. And so everybody has their own unique vision. There's like these visions that come from somewhere, right? Somewhere. And they come into our heart and into our mind, and we all have our own vision. For other people, it may be doing art or dancing. Like for me, it's like running in through the mountains, feeling alive, meditating at the top and just feeling so connected to nature. But again, like it's something different for each person. I don't know who, you know, I'll never want to like paint a painting, you know, like that's never going to be like, I mean, like I'll do it for fun, but it's never going to be the thing that like I yearn for, you know? So it's interesting because we all have these little essences of us that are so unique, and they're there for a reason. That is your soul calling you, like that is your purpose. That is something that, you know, that your soul wants you to do. So I do recommend that you know, if you haven't gotten these visions, or if you're not really sure of, you know, or if you're feeling lost in your life, I definitely recommend like spending some time with yourself and really getting quiet and seeing what pulls on your heart. And it's not just about thinking about it, right? It's about, we need to really live it, so that whatever it is that you want, this purpose, this vision that you have of yourself, maybe it's a certain physique, maybe it's a certain level of a feeling of vitality, maybe it's, I don't know, you see yourself starting some big company or something like that. It's so important that you start to put your focus on it and not just think about it, but like I said, really live it, really eat, sleep, and breathe it. You know, we've got to, this is the thing that it's like, there's like this fire and that all of us have. And it's just that for some people, maybe it's just like a small little ember, right? Because they haven't really spent much time with it. But once you start to really feel into it and put your focus on it, it becomes a raging fire. And then we've just got to keep it alive by, you know, keeping that fire lit, by keeping our focus on it, really connecting to what it is that we want. What is our vision? What is the vision of the life I choose to create? And again, it may just be a feeling. Maybe it's like you just want to have a really good connection with your kids, you know, or maybe you just want to, I don't know, spread love in the world in whatever way that comes. It doesn't even have to come into from a certain form. You know, it doesn't mean you have to, uh, I don't know, like be a certain kind of coach, or, you know, I don't know, like volunteer or anything. Like you don't know. It's just maybe that's just what you want to do, is your gift or your purpose is to just share love or share joy or whatever it is. Okay. But this is why so many people, like, well, I guess the question is like, why do so many people set these New Year's goals, New Year's resolutions, and they never achieve them? The reason why people don't achieve the things that they want, that are really important to them, is because they don't have those skills and tools um, to keep them focused on what they want, to keep that fire burning, to keep it lit, and to not allow them to get distracted by the things of life, you know, the just whatever happens, like the people or the food or different circumstances. You know, people are so they're so quick to set a New Year's resolution, but as soon as, you know, some in front of them or some cookies, they're just so quick to opt out of it, right? When their vision was to like feel really great in their body, you know. So it's really important that we first, number one, have a vision, and number two, connect to it so consistently and so intensely. We train the ability to focus on it so that we don't get distracted from it. So purpose is really important because it gives us a reason to live. It gives us a roadmap on how to live our life. And it really does, you know, it does three things. Okay. It gives us, number one, focus. So without focus, we don't create what we want, you know. So if we don't have focus on, if we don't have the life that we want to create, if we don't have that vision to focus on, then we just kind of like end up just going through life, you know, just unintentionally. And we just create, like, we just end up somewhere essentially, like, oh, somebody, you know, oh yeah, sure, let's have kids, or oh, you know, yeah, he asked me to marry him, um yeah, sure, why not? Like there's no distinct roadmap of where I want to get to, you know. So when you don't focus on your vision, so we need that North Star to keep us focused on what we want, so we don't get distracted by, you know, just sort of, I guess, moments where we make decisions that don't take us in the direction I want to go. So number one, vision is focus. Number two, vision gives us motivation, energy. So like when I think about, and when I feel into my vision, which is peak health and vitality. And I have my own unique vision of this, right? Like I said, I see myself running through the mountains, just like the wind in my hair. I feel so light, so vibrant, so alive. I mean, it's just like bliss. And I see myself meditating at the top, and I see myself just taking the absolute best care of myself, and leading groups, and teaching other people how to do the same. Like it gives me a reason to move my body. It gives me a reason to eat well. It gives me a reason to take care of myself. It gives me a reason to do these podcasts because I want to share what I know. Like this is so important to my heart. So it motivates action in the right direction. And number three, vision gives us context on what decisions to make and what actions to take throughout the day. So like I said, if I'm faced with, like upstairs right now, we've got Reese's Pieces in the cupboard, and I've also got some fruit. So it's like, what makes me choose, the fruit over the Reese's Pieces when I'm, wanting like some sugar, right? It's my vision that does that, and it's I've cultivated the skills so that I create a high focus on my vision. This is what we do inside the self-mastery program, so that it just becomes easy for you to make these decisions that are going to take you where you want to go. So that's number one. Like that's going to be the most important thing to creating your best life and feeling your absolute best, is having a vision, a purpose every day that you connect to. So that's number one. Number two is emotional management. So we need to learn how to understand ourselves, meaning we need to have the right understanding of our bodies, of our minds, of our nervous system, and how these things work, and how they are influencing and driving our daily actions. How they're driving the things that we do every day. So it's like, why do you eat those cookies? Why do you why do you work so hard? Why do you cram so much into your day? Why do you make yourself so busy when you don't have to? Why are you always rushing around, right? Why are you driving so fast when you really don't have to drive that fast? Why are you so anxious all the time? Why are you so stressed all the time? Why does that person trigger you every time she does that or says that or he does that? We have to understand why we react the way we do and why we take certain actions, because we think we do certain things, and we think that we do these things, and these things are like a certain way because of our, we think that our life is a certain way because of our job, our family, our schedule, our life, because we just have a sweet tooth or whatever, right? But the truth is that there's certain hidden forces that are driving every single one of our actions. And we're the ones making our life, creating our life in a way that is causing us to be stressed, to be rushing, to be, overwhelmed with stuff. So we are the ones that are choosing a job that doesn't allow more freedom, that doesn't allow more time freedom. We're the ones choosing to create families. We are the ones choosing to create more responsibilities for ourselves. We are the ones cramming, stuff into our day, instead of allowing more time in between things. We are the ones that are overthinking, overreacting, overworking, doubting ourselves. We are responsible for our quality of life. It is not the outside world. And the thing is that just most people are not aware of how they are creating their life, right? How they are the ones actually creating it, And so, like I said, there's certain hidden forces that are driving our behaviors, that are driving how we think and how we feel and the actions that we take on a daily basis. And the truth is that most people don't know about them. And that's really frustrating, right? That can be super frustrating, because this is why you can be finding yourself just spinning in a loop, repeating same behaviors, living in the same kind of quality of life year after year. And the reason why is because you don't see how you're creating it. You know, most people think that they should just, start a diet or get a new job, get a new husband or whatever. But that doesn't fix it, because it doesn't fix the actual emotion that you can't see if nobody's shown you, that's driving all of that. So if we want to feel good, we need to see what is standing in our way of feeling good and understanding how and why I am unintentionally doing these things to myself, how I'm creating these behaviors or these patterns for myself. So, and it's about really taking your life into your own hands. And a lot of people don't actually want to do that, because it takes time, or some people just don't want to look at themselves. They just want to blame it. It's so much easier to just blame it on the outside world, blame it on the family, the schedule, the job, that, I don't have the body that I want. I don't have the life I want, or, why I'm so stressed all the time. It's so much easier to just place the blame on somebody else. But as long as you do that, nothing will ever change. So that gets really frustrating. Um, so we don't want to be a victim to our current circumstances and patterns, and when you're no longer willing to be that victim and put yourself in that disempowered place, that's when things start to change. Most people are living life like a pinball in a pinball machine, just reacting and feeling based on what's going on in their day or in their life. You know, if their life is going good for them, then they feel good. If they're having a bad day or somebody said something to them, they feel bad, or maybe their body doesn't look the way they want it, right? If their body doesn't look fit or good that day, then they're sad. So if they have lots of money, maybe they're super happy. If they don't have money, then maybe they're super afraid or doubtful or worried. So the thing is that so long as you put the way that you feel dependent on outside things, you will never be in control. Okay, you are not in control if this is the way that you live, because it makes you completely dependent on the outside world in order for you to have a good day. And all of our good actions, our healthy habits of eating well and moving and taking care of our body, resting, all of that stuff is only going to happen when we actually feel good. Like, it's on the days where, the days where we're stressed and overwhelmed and, I don't know, like super tired, like those are the days where we don't make good decisions. Those are going to be the days where we take decisions that we regret. So we must learn how to manage our emotions so that we are stable. We are stable in peace. We are stable in love. We are stable in appreciation, right? And also from a physiological standpoint, if you don't know how to manage your emotions and you're living in this low grade state of stress and anxiety, the body's going to actually start to break down and malfunction, right? So it starts off as, when we're feeling these low grade states of anxiety and overwhelm or, stress, whatever, it starts off as low energy. And then what usually happens is, usually cravings increase, our sleep goes down, like goes to shit. Our digestion gets impaired. So we start having gas, bloating, stomach pain, foods that used to be fine with all of a sudden are starting to bother us. So we're just living in pain. We might have some other pain, such as headaches, migraines, joint pain, back pain. And our metabolism slows down. So here we are, we're stressed, we're eating, metabolism is slow, we don't want to move much. All of a sudden we're starting to gain weight, and maybe we're not even eating that much and we're still gaining weight. That's what happened to me. Or maybe your weight loss, like maybe you're trying to diet and your weight just isn't going anywhere. It's just like a rock. It's not moving at all. And the reason why is because of our emotions, these emotions such as anxiety and fear and guilt, shame, stress, sadness, all this stuff is what's causing the hang up here. It's causing the body to just like come to a halt and really start to break down. And like I said, people mistakenly look to drugs and prescriptions and diets and, all these things to fix their pain, but it usually doesn't work, or at least not for long, because they aren't looking at the root. They're not pulling out the root of the problem, the root that's creating all these problems, all these issues, that's keeping them hung up. So, and you know, a good example of this is like when your phone, like um, when you have all your computer is another good example, right? If you have too many windows open on your computer, all of a sudden, eventually, like it's just overloaded, right? With all this stimulus, all this like output of energy. And eventually the windows start freezing and like you can't load your pages. You can't open up your email, you can't send out messages or whatever. So this is basically the same thing that happens with the body. The body, when we're living in these low grade states of stress, it doesn't even have to be a high grade state of stress. It's just like this constant kind of needing to go go go, do, push push push, right? When we're in these states, the body cannot absorb nutrients, and when the body can't absorb nutrients, the body isn't able to really function properly. It doesn't have the nutrients to function, right, and give us good energy, and so we can't recover. And if we don't bring this, the body and the mind, back to this emotional harmony, this peaceful state, this calm state, this healing state, this rejuvenating state. So, and not only do our emotions drive how our body feels and functions, but like I said earlier, they drive our actions and our decisions too. We think that we're in control when we make decisions and take actions, but we are not, right? There's these hidden forces, and the hidden forces are your emotions that are driving your actions, your behaviors, your decisions, whether you're aware of it or not. So for example, I have a client that recently she was telling me how she was making a salad, she was feeling really good, she was excited to have like something healthy and take care of herself, and she got like a text message or something while she was making the salad. Immediately she went into like a stress state, like just kind of panic or just kind of like anxiety or something like that. And she put the salad stuff away and grabbed cookies instead. I mean, this is what I mean, guys. You are not in control. We are not in control. We like these, if it's our emotions are driving our actions. So this is why it's so important for us to be aware of how we're feeling in any moment. And I like to think of it more as energy. It's energy in motion, and it can flip so quickly. As you guys know, you can be happy 1 minute, and then the next minute you can be super pissed off or sad, right? And so it's so crucial for us to learn how to manage our emotions so that we don't allow them to make decisions that we regret over and over and over. And instead, it's not about ignoring our emotions. It's learning how to feel them, how to process them, how to let them move through you so they don't drive you. Okay. So if we're going to create healthy habits, we need to have a good management and good command of our emotional state. Quick interruption. Hey guys, Natalie Newhart here. If you resonate with my message and would like to learn more about how to master your behaviors, create peak vitality in your body, and live a more effortless life, then click the link in the show notes to set up a 30-minute coaching call with me. On our call, we'll take an assessment of what's standing in your way from becoming your best self and the steps to overcome them. Okay, back to the show. So the third key to feeling our best is going to be movement. So from my perspective, if we want to live the best quality of life, feel our best, feel our most strongest, vibrant, full of life, then we need to move. We need a strong body. We need to be active. And so just ask yourself, like, how much of my day is spent moving, walking, stretching, maybe doing yoga or whatever, versus how much is spent just sitting at the desk or on the couch or driving or just kind of sitting around passively. So just kind of ask yourself that, like, how much of my day am I really moving? Is it 1 hour a day? Is it, not even 1 hour a day? Is it 3 hours a day? Just kind of get an idea. How much of your 24-hour day are you moving? Because that movement is extremely important when it comes to feeling our best for three different reasons. Number one, it gives us confidence, right? It gives us like a peace of mind. It gives us confidence. So when we move and work out and exercise, and however you do it, right? When we basically face challenges and overcome them, it gives us that feeling that we can really handle anything, and that we can um, yeah, we can really protect ourselves from harm also if we come into a certain situation, a scary situation in life. So it allows us to really walk through life without this fear of what's going to happen, or it allows you to be more stable, more of a rock, because it's life. Like, things are going to happen, things are going to knock us off, knock us off, like knock us off our track. Like, it's gonna, maybe a bill comes in, or an injury, or something, I don't know, like your house floods, like whatever, like any sort of circumstance can really um easily shake you if you aren't mentally strong. So movement really builds a lot of mental strength, and knowing that I am mentally strong, mentally and physically, really allows me to, go through life without fear and be able to handle life without being shaken so much, and so, like, when I'm training my body strong, I'm also training my mind to be strong, to not quit when things get hard, to endure, to not be so easily shaken or moved emotionally. So it really gives me that mental strength, and that gives me a sense of a peace of mind that whatever comes my way, I know I can handle it, because I've trained my body and my mind to be strong. So so that's number one, like the first benefit of like having movement, being such an important aspect of your day. The second thing is it really gives us freedom. Creating a strong body gives us access to more experiences in life. When our body is strong and agile and flexible, and we are not limited by what our body can do then. If I want to go, I don't know, like if I want to go climb a mountain, I can go climb a mountain. If I want to go run a marathon or a half marathon or a 5K or something, I know I can do that. um, if I want to go travel a country and explore the country, I know that I can uh, overcome any of the physical challenges that may be a part of that, whether it's walking long distances or climbing up a lot of stairs, or doing a lot of hiking or whatever. So yeah, if something really intrigues me, something that I want to do, I know that I can do it because I've trained my body to be strong. So it gives me this sense of freedom. And um yeah, so it's like, and even just, if I want to um if I want to like pick up a heavy bag and put it up in the airplane cargo area, like I know I can do that. That's another thing. It's like I know I can take care of myself. I know I can carry, luggage upstairs or heavy groceries upstairs. I don't need to depend on anybody to do those kind of things for me. And so that really gives me a sense of freedom, that and a sense of independence, that I know I'm good on my own. I don't need a partner. I don't need somebody there, or even I'm not going to need anyone for any reason, because I'm strong, right? So that's the second thing, is it gives us access to more freedom. And then the third thing that movement does, it gives us energy, right? Moving our body is what really brings us to life. It brings energy into our body. This is why when we sit around all day, we can tend to feel slow, lazy, foggy, sad, just sluggish. And so moving our body, even if it's just like a little bit, like just like shaking, bouncing up and down, just that simple shaking can bring us to life. It clears any sort of stagnant energy, any energy blocks that come from sitting or, sleeping for long periods of time. And and it also clears out, like movement, just gentle movement, it clears out any sort of energy that you may have come into contact with, people, or certain events in your life. So This is why you can you can feel so much better after a workout, because you're moving that energy through your body. So, it's just like an oil change. Like 1 minute we can feel we can feel sad or lazy or tired. And just after a minute of doing something small, like maybe squats or just bouncing up and down, we can feel energized and full of life. So movement is critical to creating the life that you want. It's to creating the best version of yourself, because we need energy to do the things that will create an amazing life. We need the energy to move, to walk, to run, to create certain things in our life, like certain, whatever we want to do for our career. We need energy. We need motivation to do those kind of things. We need motivation to really to choose healthy foods. It takes energy to really have the willpower to say no to foods that aren't going to that aren't going to support what you want. And so it gives us life. It brings life into our body. So, and how much to move? That's a great question that I know I used to ask all the time. Like, how do I know how hard to go and when to rest? And that's why I developed a system that I teach my clients and that I use myself. It's called the green, yellow, red system. So there's certain days that are green days, which just means there's more activity, more intensity in your training inside your movement. Then there's yellow days, which just means that it's moderate activity, moderate intensity, moderate volume. And then red days would be very low intensity, very low volume. So it's just like a stoplight, right? So it's like, okay, if you're feeling good, you're going to go a green day. If you're feeling you're going to do a day. And if your body's feeling a bit more beat up or low on energy, you're going to go red day, like I'm doing today. So today, yesterday was probably more of a green day. I did a big mountain hike. And then today, which is usually pretty common, that the day after you do something really big, your energy is going to go down the next day. So today I just called it a red day, doing very low intensity, meaning just some self massage, some really light bike work, just kind of more stretching, dynamic work. And that's it, right? I'm actually, today I didn't even go for a walk today. But what I'm saying is that it depends on how you feel. There is no like, oh, on a red day, you do exactly this, or on a green day, you do exactly this workout, because it really depends on how you feel. And also like what you want to do, like what is your heart calling for, and learning how to listen to the body and not the mind, because a lot of us have been so programmed to just push, right? Like, oh, I just got to follow the plan. Just follow the plan. That was part of the plan. I'm just going to, force myself to the gym, get myself through the workout, and, I'll feel better afterwards. Right. But if we always do that, then we are going to really set ourselves back. I'm actually going to talk about that in the next portion. So not every day should be a 1 hour high intensity workout. And also not every day should be a, 20-minute low intensity workout, so how much movement and what intensity you do each day should depend on how you feel and what your body needs to feel its highest level of vitality. And this takes practice to get used to, guys. It's not something that you can listen to, understand on a podcast. It's not something that you can read in a book. It's not something that you can just follow. It's not a plan. It really takes a lot of trial and error of listening to your body, making the mistake of pushing too hard or not, not pushing at all, like letting your mind win, and learning every single time. You just get better at really mastering your body and knowing when to push, when to rest, and not to overstep it too much to the point where, you're knocked out for a couple of days, or, you're binging on food because you're so hungry, or, you are, you can't sleep, or you're getting digestion issues, or all these things that happen when we don't listen to our body and we force ourselves. So that's the third thing, is movement. Super, super important. The next most important thing to feeling your best, number 4, is rest. So rest is so important. And it's important because peak vitality, feeling your absolute best, feeling strong, agile, full of energy is an energy balance game, right? It's a game of energy. And most people, a lot of people, aka me, right? I used to be one of them and I'm still working on it. I think it's going to be just something I work on for the rest of my life. We can get really carried away with doing too much, right? Too much exercise or putting too much on our plate. Just constantly doing, going, like everything, walking fast, driving fast, working out fast, checking things off. And then also like our mind is always going, right? We're always thinking, always, worrying, always dealing with problems as opposed to being just here present in the moment. So that's really common. Like that's just kind of the nature that we've been brought up with in our world, is to be busy. And it's almost like actually even glory. I actually got a massage recently, and the first thing, I asked, I was like, "Oh, how are you?" She's like, massage lady, she's like, "Oh, I'm good. I've been busy, so that's good." So it's funny because we actually say like, "Oh, because it's good that I'm busy." Um, and yeah, so it's like we feel like we should be busy. We need to be busy. It's good to be busy. If you're not busy, then like you're lazy or you're not, something's wrong. And so we really have to get rid of that belief, because that will definitely keep you back from feeling your absolute best. And so this idea of rest and recovery is the most overlooked. And if we're constantly investing our energy, into things or thinking, like our thoughts or activities or to-do lists or exercise, then like you can just imagine this, if your phone, like it's very similar to using our phone all the time and never giving it a chance to recharge, to plug it into the charger, right? So what happens when you don't plug your phone into the charger, using it all the time, is it dies, right? So same thing happens with us, is if we are just investing our energy, investing, eventually our energy just starts to plummet, and we really just kind of start to run on cortisol, right? And this is where we start to run into issues, like things start to misfunction, right? Like this is the same thing as like if we have a Wi-Fi, if we had like a Wi-Fi router, and we had, like 50 people inside this room, and we all got on this Wi-Fi, and all of a sudden, like what would happen is the Wi-Fi would be overwhelmed, right? With so much usage, and, we wouldn't be able to send text messages or load, check our email or load pages and stuff like that. Things start to break down. Okay. So same thing happens with our body, is our body starts to break down. It's like the connections start to get severed, and all of a sudden we can't digest our food. We can't absorb nutrients. So therefore we don't have good energy. Our metabolism is slowed down. We've got hypothyroid or autoimmune issues, adrenal fatigue, gas, bloating, joint pain, headaches, migraines, all these things start to flare up, right? So this means that we need to find things that really, really regenerate you, that you feel regenerates you, right? That nourishes you with new energy and new life. And this can be, different for different people. Some people, maybe like drawing a picture would be really rejuvenating. Other people want to go sit in nature. Other people maybe want to have a cup of tea. Other people want to maybe just, color or sing or, like any of these things, right? What matters is not so much what you do, it's about how you do it, which is what I was saying earlier. And it's also not important how many hours you are like lying down or sleeping or meditating, right? The important part is how many of these minutes or hours are you simply just lying there or sitting there, versus how many hours are you actually regenerating, restoring, and recharging? How many minutes are you actually regenerating? Because you can sit in I was just talking to my client about this, is that you can sit in your sauna, and or you can sit and the meditation pose or go do yoga or something like that. But that doesn't necessarily mean that you're actually recharging, because if your mind is constantly running that whole time, thinking about what you got to do later, thinking about what happened during your day earlier, or the problems you need to fix or whatever, then you're it's just like your phone. It has all the apps open that they're constantly running, and while the phone is trying to be charged, but it doesn't ever get charged because there's still all this output of energy, right? And you can feel this too. Like, you can feel the difference when you are actually fully present in something, such as a massage, right? Like, if you're actually fully present, you just feel so much more nourished after the massage. But if you're getting the massage and you're thinking about all the things you got to do later, like, you can't really take in that energy. You can't be receptive to allow your body to open and really relax. So you're not going to get the most out of that. Same goes with eating, right? If you have a meal, it's like we can hurry up and eat a meal super fast, and it's like we totally missed out on the nourishment aspect of, like, the mental nourishment, right? Of, like, just sitting down and really allowing yourself to taste the food and allow your body to relax and receive that life that's coming in, and so it's like, if you're not eating mindfully, it's kind of like you're just eating, right? You're just like doing an activity, and there's no nourishment actually happening there. In fact, a lot of times you actually eat and then you forgot, because you weren't paying attention, because you were multitasking, you forget that you even had something, and so you feel like you really need something else because you're not satiated, right? Because you weren't actually enjoying that meal. So again, what matters most is that we are, like, in order to be recharging our system, to be rejuvenating ourselves with energy, we have to have our input greater than our output, meaning that we have to open the body. So instead of investing our energy, we need to turn the investment of energy off and open our body to receive energy, which usually it can come in creative forms. Like I said, like art, or, singing, or coloring, or something like that. But most often, the best is going to be where, like, everything's completely turned off. Like, you're sitting still, no noise, just you and yourself, and just being completely present, right? So maybe you're present with your breath, or you're present in nature, so you're listening to the trees or feeling the wind on your face. So it's opening. It's not about just sitting there and doing nothing. It's about opening yourself, which takes some practice, right? But certain people will have certain preferences on what regenerates them with energy. So so it's really about feeling inward and understanding yourself. What do I need on a nourishment level? What do I need right now to feel good? What will help me regenerate me most right now? And that's something that I have my clients ask themselves, like, all throughout the day. It's something that I ask myself, right? It's like, how do I feel? What do I need? Do I need food? Do I need some stillness? Do I need some music? Do I need to move? Like, what do I need to feel good? And you just get better and better at figuring out what your body needs to feel its best. And again, it doesn't matter what you do, but it's how you do it. So you can't just expect to increase your energy by sitting in the sauna or just sitting in nature while your mind is running. There must be an intention of, I'm using this time to really clear my mind, to open myself so that I can receive energy, so that I can regenerate. So that's going to be it as far as rest goes. Now, the fifth would be nutrition. So I find it's still extremely important, but in comparison to the other ones, I find that it's the least important, because you need, really, I feel like, all these other things in place in order for you to really make good decisions around food, personally. So one of the ways that keep a vibrant body and keeping the body, highly in a highly vibrant state, in a highly regenerating state, is through good quality food, and the right amount of food, and the timing of food. So I'm not going to go into this with too much detail, because I can spend, like, so much time on food. But essentially, we just want to be asking ourselves, like, when it comes to food, what is going to make me feel my best right now? Do I need a big meal or do I need a little meal? Do I need some heavy foods or do I need some light foods? Do I need something cooling? Do I need something warm? So it's really starting to understand, how do I feel right now? And like a pendulum, like, where am I on this scale? And and what do I need to feel balanced? That's the key. We're always trying to come back to balance. So if I'm really hot, then I'd want something cooling, right? If I have a, maybe, I don't know, like if I have, yeah, another example is if I'm really hot, like I wouldn't want like any sort of hot foods. I'd want like some colder foods. If I'm really hot, I'd want some cooling foods instead of spicy foods, maybe sweeter foods. If I, have to have a really busy day, then maybe, or a really active day, then maybe I need a bigger meal to prepare me for my day. If I have a really light day, a light activity day, then maybe I want to eat some lighter foods. It's really being aware of, how do I feel and what do I feel like I need? How much food do I need? Is this the right timing? Um, and also, when it comes to what food I need, it's, really choosing the higher vibrational foods that have more life in them, have more energy, higher vibration, higher frequency foods. And those are going to be foods that are closer to nature. So, things that are like natural, things that are, that have been nourished by the sun and water and Mother Earth, so those kind of things. And when it comes to animal products, which I'm a fan of protein, or animal meats. I personally have tried to go without them, but because of my high activity level, I can't not eat meat. Like I just don't function well when I don't have meat in my diet. But the meats that I do choose, they're going to be they're going to be free range, organic, and ideally like just treated the best. Like those animals are treated the best because how they're raised and how they're how they're killed is that whatever frequency that they're in that environment it remains in the food. And so you ingest that when you eat that food. So it's just part of, being really mindful of, how do I want to feel? I'm always taking in certain vibrations, certain frequencies, and I want to have the highest frequency possible. I want to vibrate at my highest. I want to feel the most life in my body, the most alive. So, so just being aware of what you're eating and, what kind of vibration is attached to that. And, what you eat is important, but it's not as important as why you eat it or how you eat it. So it's like being really intentional with your food. I eat this because I want to feel my best. I eat this, because I want to feel light. I want to feel alive, not because of calories, right? Like calories should never be the dictator of what you choose to eat, or even if it's like quote unquote good or bad. Like that should never be part of your terminology when it comes to food. It's just, hey, I eat this because this is what my body needs right now. This is what's going to make it feel good. So it's starting to look at food in that way. Okay. So, and then the other thing is also like, how are you eating it? Are you eating it as as you're driving, as you're on your computer, as you're working, as you're listening to a podcast? What are you present with your food, or are you just eating it on the go? Because that too is going to be a huge part to how you digest the food, and also just your ability to be present with the food and be satiated, when you're eating it. Because if you're not present with it, it's like, oh, it like never happened. And so it's like, yeah, maybe you're hungry again just 5 minutes later, and it's maybe not even hungry, but it's like you didn't take care of that craving. You don't feel satiated, right? So how you eat your food is also really important. But like I said, we'll have to do another podcast on this some other time, because there's a lot of points to it. So that is basically it. So those are the 5 points to really feeling your best, to feeling high energy, to creating a lean body, to not having any body pain, to really wake up every single day and not feel like there's some part of your body that you don't like or you don't feel good in, or is keeping you from living having a good day. So again, this is a game of energy balance. If you want to train hard, then you need to designate the time to regenerate more. And so just ask yourself, how good do I feel? How vital do I feel? How alive do I feel? The more vital you feel, the more you'll be able to live the life you want, because you'll have more energy to do the things to create that. So it's always being aware of, how do I feel? What do I need to take care of this vessel? And there's never going to be a black and white plan. You will not find a plan that tells you exactly what you need at all times, because we're just so unique. Nobody knows what you're going through in your life. Nobody knows what kind of body aches you have. Nobody knows how you slept last night. These are all things that you need to take into consideration and really feel in for yourself. What do I feel like I need? Okay. And all humans want to create a life that they personally enjoy to live, like they really enjoy to live, that they love to live, that they enjoy, can't wait to wake up for. But in order to achieve this kind of life, you can't do it without certain skills or certain methods. And you can't do it without the proper character traits either, that will support you on this journey, because there's lots of things like awareness, focus, mindfulness, self-love, like there's compassion. There's so many different skills that we need to practice in order for us to make this a part of our daily lifestyle, to make this, so that we do implement all 5 of these every single day, and we do feel our best. And this is why I've built my self-mastery program to include all these different tools and training methods, so that you can develop yourself in such a way that you create the life that you truly enjoy living, and a body that you love living in. So if you're interested in learning more about the self-mastery program, just either send me an email, or you can message me on Instagram. There's also a link in the show notes below to book a call with me, a complimentary call with me. And we can, just take a look at where you are and what you're looking for, and see if you're a good fit. So thank you. Much, much love. And we'll see you on the next episode. Thank you so much for tuning in to the Mastering You podcast with me, Natalie Newhart. I hope you're feeling more empowered and inspired on how to master your mind, your body, and your life. If you don't want to miss your next training with me, be sure to subscribe to the show wherever you consume your podcasts. And definitely connect with me on Instagram. I'm natalie.newhart on Instagram. Much, much love to you all. Until next time.
The power of love is here now. The power of now is here now. The power of you, me, is here to create magic on us.